Hey everybody, it's Chainsaw Reacts back. What's another reaction for you guys? Today guys, we're taking the journey of my adventures with Superman. This is season 2, episode 4, Two Lanes Diverged. Now I'm assuming, based on that title, I'm just assuming this is going to be focusing on Lois and her father. At least that's going to be the main story that we're focusing on this episode. Could be wrong, but Two Lanes, I'm thinking. We'll see what happens though. Episode 3 of last week, Full Metal Scientist. Yeah, that was okay, correct. I wanted to verify that was the correct title. It wasn't the best episode, but I like the fact that we got introduced to Steel, well, their version of Steel in the show, and basically Metallo robots, which I wasn't a big fan of, but maybe if this leads to an actual Metallo character, and that the robots are just kind of like the inspiration, because at the end of the episode, Lex and Amanda Waller, they take over the Metallo army, like the robots. So my guess is they're going to, because just like with Atomic Skull, they're going to create a version that we more know so from the comics of Metallo based on the robots, right? Because we did see where Deathstroke on his blade did have some pieces of kryptonite. So I'm assuming it's all going to tie into maybe Metallo being a big threat in terms of like an actual Metallo character, not the robots, but an actual Metallo character as a major threat for Superman. We'll see what happens. Now, we're still kind of building up to the fact that Kara is still out there, and Clark and Lois are trying to have a conversation because Lois also got offered a job to go to Gotham City to work under Vicky Vale. So there's a lot of things going on. My thing is she's either going to accept it and she'll just come back later, or it's going to be a whole thing to where she's constantly just deciding, like trying to decide what's the best option for her, and Clark is making it more and more difficult for her to decide. All of that drama stuff, but we'll see what happens. So let's jump to now the episode, guys. Let's check it out. I'm curious to see what we're going to be seeing here, and overall, I'm just glad that the show is back because, I think it's a very interesting direction and a unique kind of look at Superman, and it's something different, and so I'm all for it. I love it. So let's jump to now, guys. Two Lanes Diverged. Let's go.
What happened here?
Kent, do not!
Hi.
James Olsen?
James Olsen, you were invited to the 23rd Annual Star Labs Symposium.
Oh.
Defense, Science, and you, James Olsen, Superman's best friend, are invited to speak at the keynote discussion.
Lois, I've been trying to reach you and we keep missing each other.
Yeah,
and,
the constant, like, they can't find a way to talk.
I need to talk to you.
Get ready for the best day ever!
The network.
Wow, look at this list.
I don't need Superman. I need Clark.
Hey, Clark.
My best friend.
That, to me, that's, I love that. I love that.
Now, which one screams hype?
He's just, what is he doing?
Dad.
Oh.
Gotcha! Because the North Star is always in the same place. Find it, and you'll always find your way home. Your mom, she wasn't feeling well. Remember, every contact leaves a trace.
I like the glasses.
What? Secret doorway. Something. This must be a secret bunker. Holy shit, yeah.
Lois!
Dad?
Who's here? Oh!
Waller is onto me, and I didn't want you in the crosshairs.
Well, maybe you could have told me that instead of running off.
I'm not running off.
Huh? Oh, okay.
Can you believe this?
You're one of the only people who made me feel like being an alien wasn't some terrible secret.
James Olsen, please report to the auditorium.
James Olsen. Ooh.
The Superman problem.
Huh?
Entrepreneur, founder of LexCorp, and rising star in the defense tech community, Lex Luthor.
Shit. Alright, this is all,
It's nothing.
It's an open wound in a sewer, Dad. Just hold still.
Yeah, it would be good at all to be infected and shit.
Your next waypoint. Start by finding the North Star.
Big bear, little bear, points to...
5-minute cooldown. Then we go again.
Thank you. I feel like he's pushing her, that's why they kind of separate, I think.
Those lessons when you're a kid. I was trying to prepare you. The world's a dangerous place.
Atomic Skull, yeah.
We know that we aren't
Shit.
alone in the universe.
Superman saves us from threats. Yes, Superman's an alien, but he chooses to use
I think
his
it
powers
would be like
to
an
do
argument
good.
debate thing.
Isn't that what matters?
Choose. Superman chooses to help. But what happens the day Superman
chooses not to.
chooses to hurt us instead? Why do we trust an alien to say what's right for us humans? Hold on. Say we fight a war, and Superman decides that the other side's the good guys. Who stops him?
It's a fair point.
He would never
well,
do that.
He already has. Superman destroyed a Mesotech. Our city used to be safe. It used to be normal.
he's making good
I
points if
it's
Clark
time
was to go
Superman
evil.
went back to where he came from.
Winslow shot. Robotics and demolition expert, and an old friend.
You're still leaving?
Yeah, of course.
Today's my
I was like, what? Damn it.
You were luring me out.
Mommy doesn't need you anymore.
Doesn't need you. Holy shit. Shit. We need Superman. We need Superman. Nice. Exactly. Invisibility. Superman, where you at? You were fighting him. Oh, I like this. That's good. You had the turn.
Dad, come on!
Well.
Is everyone okay?
No thanks to you. If you think you can control him, you're wrong. Superman is the #1 threat to humanity. Thanks for the advice, Jimmy. I would not be here today without you. Jimmy?
Shit. Yeah, that's gonna backfire. Yep.
I'll be fine. Besides, anything is an improvement to living with Kent.
Dad,
He's different.
he is, yes. That's what I love about him.
Of course, he
Speaking
misses
of,
this
I have
part.
to make a
Typical
call,
trope.
but,
Yep. Oh. It was that
Hello.
simple?
Carl,
Oh.
I don't know if this will work.
Okay. It's just gone? He left the door open?
Dad?
Why?
Dad! You're okay.
Congrats, Cadet. Finally found the North Star. I've been waiting.
I'll make it without you.
The transition. Yeah.
You've got an alien problem. Task Force X has an alien solution.
What?
Star Labs, the Pentagon, all of us. Whatever you need to deal with Superman, you'll have it. Good. Earth is safer than ever before.
And there you have it, guys. And this was a pretty damn good episode of the show because it raised a lot of questions surrounding Superman. Well, specifically, Star Labs. And I'm not really sure if it was Star Labs or Lex Luthor getting involved in this, like, debate discussion. More so, like, just we're not debating. We're actually just going to get right into the fact that Lex is going to prove he's right. But there's a lot of questions raised. And this is something that I think the best storytelling revolving around heroes, especially gods like Superman, in terms of, everyone else on the planet cannot compare to him in terms of his natural abilities. And then there's, of course, going to be this blowback and this fight back and these questions surrounding, like, what he's doing. Because exactly what Jimmy said, he's choosing to help us. And Lex, like, I like how you use that word, and I thank you for using the word choose. Because what if he chooses to hurt us and chooses to do this instead of what he's doing, and he's actually going to stop us from advancing technology-wise or stop us from doing something? What if there's a war started and he thinks that the other people involved are the good guys and we're the bad? It's a lot of good questions. And I think Lex has a point. Because this is still a young Superman, and what we've seen in Season 1, through the multiverse, there are plenty of Clarks that are not good. There's also plenty of Clarks that are good. But the question is this version of Clark actually good? And the answer is yes, he is. But he has to prove himself. And the thing is, there's not been a lot of time to do that. And the thing that Lex points out about the whole Ivo thing, that all went down and he was advancing technology, but the thing was it infected him. But Lex is spinning that narrative, spinning that story. And now it seems everybody's behind Task Force X. They're behind Lex and Amanda Waller now. They're behind them 100% because they did not see Deathstroke and the rest of them. Tom Scott, like they didn't see Clark was fighting them because they were there to kill Lois's dad and everything. It was a whole thing. So they didn't see this go down. They just see the aftermath and Superman just sitting like, is everyone okay? Well, of course we are, but like you destroyed all this shit. I bet there's proof, like cameras showing there was other people there that he was fighting to stop them from killing innocent people. Well, in this case, is Lois's dad actually innocent? Good question. But still, Lex made some good points. Not saying he's right. I'm saying he's making good argument counterpoints to what Jimmy, because Jimmy thought he was there just to chat about Superman and everything, and no, they're trying to get a counterpoint. Unfortunately, Lex bulldozed over him. Now, I feel like at the end of the episode, there is going to be a disconnect there because Lex makes a point in front of everybody else, including Clark, Superman, to Jimmy, thank you so much for pushing me, because Jimmy gave him some advice earlier this season about pushing yourself and doing your own thing. If Jimmy wouldn't have told him that, maybe Lex would not have been working with Task Force X and Amanda Waller now. But now he is. Thank you. You're a great friend, Jimmy. You're a great pal. And then Jimmy runs away. When Jimmy could have stood up for Superman at that moment, because there was a whole angry mob of people saying, get out of here, you don't deserve to be here. All this. It was really great and kind of breakdown of where people now turning on. Now, I don't assume everybody's going to turn on Superman, but now I think we're in that point where the public perception for him is now shifting. Not all, but I think a lot of people are going to be turning against him now until he has to prove himself to get their good graces back. And I think right now we're kind of leading more into they're seeing him as a threat, or that he could become an enemy, and that he's kind of proving that he can't be trusted because all this tech was destroyed, all this stuff went down, blah, 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 So there's that. So it's curious, we're kind of changing that dynamic there. Also, the ending of the episode, oh boy, don't know what the, oh boy, it's not good because he's floating over Earth. Holy shit. Okay, so we also have the other side of it where Lois, we got some flashbacks of Lois kind of training with her dad, and we hear a little bit about Mom, not much, and it's more so like he's pushing her to be on her own, to fend for herself, to be basically ready for anything. And she finally completes the task and finds her dad just standing out in the woods with his truck, and you pass it, like, well, you left the tent without saying anything. Like, well, that's the whole point, like, you need to be on your own. And then of course he leaves again after all this time. They're spending together, and they're in Star Labs, and all the attacks going down, and they get that tech, the shield, which is really cool, and the invisibility kind of device that's kind of cool as well. But of course he leaves again. He still leaves. And I don't blame him, because he doesn't want his daughter in harm. And I think they can still go after her, because now they know, oh, at one point she was helping her dad, and he was the target, he still is the target, and they got away. So she's still in danger, regardless of him being there or not. She still is, because they could kidnap her to draw him back out. See, like, there's still a way that this still doesn't go the way he thinks it, because he's thinking in his head, you get as far away from me as possible, I get as far away from you as possible, you'll be safe. No, I mean, Superman's going to be there, so yes, she'll be safe in a sense, but he doesn't know that, and he assumes, oh, they'll just come after me and not her. She was standing right with you, tricking and evading all of them up to the Star Labs sequence, and then they were fighting back against them at one point, so she's still in danger. Seeing the disconnect of Lois and her dad over time, it makes sense, because they already established in season 1 they do not have a good relationship at all, and to kind of see those in flashbacks, little moments to where she's getting more and more frustrated with him. Like at first, when she was the youngest version of herself in these flashbacks, she was enjoying it, like she was having fun, but she wasn't taking it too seriously. And then a little older, it gets a little more stressful, because she's kind of like misremembering the North Star. And then eventually, he says, okay, we'll take a break. And then later on, it gets the argumentative, and then to the point where she's just like so frustrated, she'll be on her own without him. So they really disconnected, because he kept pushing her, and he even admitted when they're down in the sewers that he would do things differently if he had that perspective back then, but he didn't, because his wife was dying, and, you know, Lois was really in a bad spot because her mom's always tired and she's not even able to help me. And so he's trying his best, but he didn't know how to do it properly. I feel like if Lois's mom never passed away, or at least until when she became adult, then I bet the dynamic would be better because it'd be more of a balance of parenting, but there wasn't that balance. So unfortunately he had to take on and doing what he thought was best for Lois. And yes, in a sense, it is good that she went through this kind of training and to kind of learn these skills, but at the same time, it really disconnected them, and he still ended up leaving, right? Interesting, we got to see a version of Toyman in this episode, even for a brief little moment, and the exploding bear was a good little moment, but he betrayed them immediately for Deathstroke and for Task Force X. Unfortunately. Should have seen that coming, though, since Toyman is a villain. Now, he seemed kind of a nice guy. Like, what is this guy? Like, what? Like, when they said his name, like, what? Is this Toyman? And it is, but, I mean, you know, he is, but he wasn't like the typical version of Toyman as you would expect. But still, overall, like, I had a good time with the episode. I'm wondering, okay, because next week's episode is going to be the kind of middle of the season. What exactly are we going to be getting into? Like, what exactly is kind of, because now we're going to be having to get into, like, because we've been kind of doing these, not really one-off episodes, because we've been building up Task Force X and Amanda Waller and Lex, but what is the overall is there a bigger picture to this, or is the kind of real big threat Lex and Amanda Waller and Task Force X, and then the reveal of whatever they're working on is going to be revealed, and maybe it is Metallo. Maybe the robots, like the robot army of Metallos they took over in the last episode, will tie back in, and then they're actually going to be coming out and creating Metallo to fight Superman. Now, we also have Zod and shit out there. We have Kar out there. We have a lot of other stuff we're kind of in the back. Of course, the ending of the episode, floating down above Earth. So there's still more to look forward to. I'm just curious, like, because they're already kind of thinking and outlining of season 3 and 4. So it makes me wonder, how big are we going to go? And there's certain things in the marketing, the trailers they've showcased that haven't been shown yet. So I'm guessing it's back half stuff. But yeah, I'm excited to see where we go. Hope you guys enjoyed the reaction. I'm curious what you guys thought about this episode of My Adventures with Superman. Whatever thoughts you have, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I will talk to you guys soon. Peace out.